Rowan Radio On Demand. Download more podcasts at wgls.rowan.edu.
The following program does not represent the views or opinions of the staff or administration of Rowan University or Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM.
For the American Dream, we'll hear from our guest, Stanley Jones, when we return.
This is WGLS Rowan Radio.
And welcome again to the American Dream. I'm your host, Stanley L. And we do have live calling in for California a wonderful, wonderful guest. And I'm going to introduce her as Sandy Jones. How you doing, Sandy?
Hey, hi Stan. I'm doing great. Thanks for all of this. This is lovely.
Well, I just think we should be thanking you to take the time out of your busy day to, share some of your thoughts and feelings and so forth with us. But why don't you start by, maybe talking a little bit about yourself. Let the audience out there know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, it's sort of like an interesting little combination of things because years ago I studied with a man, a wonderful spiritual guide man that lived in Alabama, and I was in California, and I discovered him in the 60s, actually in the 70s. But he had been teaching for many years, so he was teaching in the 50s, 60s. Anyway, he wrote several books, and I studied with him. His name is William Samuel. And when he passed away in whenever, I think it was 92, 96, I've forgotten. But when he passed away, he gave me all of his material, all of his books, his literary legacy, really. And I was to keep all of his books in print and keep his work out there and his message out there because his message is so beautiful. And as the years go by, I realized how much he trusted and believed in me, and that he knew that I was going to fully understand this gift that he was sharing with us. And I do. Eventually, I have realized exactly what his books are about and what he's saying. And so my joy in sharing his message along with my message, which is about his message is sort of about finding yourself, your true identity, and then living it. And so my message is me living my true identity, which is really lovely because this is what he was saying. Once you get it, you have the fearlessness and the love and this inner light and this connection to be able to speak it from your own beautiful, innate, individual way. And so this is the gift. I'm bridging his work because I know that he says it in such a way that it gave me a gift. And then I want to share that, yes, I found this beautiful freedom, this joy to be able to express and to live in a heart of peace, I would say. And so that's what I'm doing. And it seems, these are kind of, I'm in my later years here, and I'm going, wow, how beautiful that I get to share my heart. Now as I've sort of bloomed again, and I'm just want to give what I have to give. And then I'm getting all these people finding me, which is part of the miracle, how does this happen? I start to bloom, and then all the people start to show up, and I didn't do anything. And it's watching this wonderful mystery of God's grace unfolding in my life, and it always has, but now I'm just going, wow, this is even more amazing. So, yeah, that's kind of it, Stan.
Yeah, are you sure that's it, though?
Well, no, that's not it, but listen, I can talk your ear off. You have to control me. I could keep going forever, so,
I asked that question because I do know that you are also quite a gifted person in terms of writing and art and things like that as well.
Yes, true. I have a beautiful little website with my artwork on it and my writing on it, and that's called Woodsong Journals. And then I also kind of connect to William Samuel's stuff with that little website, and he's got his own. And then and I keep his books published, and people love my artwork, which is really sweet because it's very my art doesn't come from any instruction. It's just sort of free-flowing from me. And the joy of art that you just kind of just throw yourself in and do it has been really a fun, wonderful way to see how we can express our own heart and our individuality, and through art is really a great way. Or like I heard that you play music and you play piano. I mean, it just kind of comes from this wonderful source, and it just there it is, you know. So that's really a nice thing. So that's what happened with my artwork, and I love doing it. And I have a very artistic nature anyway. I mean, I love decorating and color and beauty and just the whole world of just this sort of all the senses, everything's alive, and I just enjoy this whole world of abundance, you know, and so my art is kind of sharing that. Plus my art is often, most of my little scenes are about this expression of home, the comfort of home. And I raised 3 kids. I was married for 30 years. My husband passed away about 12 years ago. And so I've been kind of, learning a new life in these last years. But I loved being, home and my kids and creating a home and all that sort of thing. So that all these things are sort of interesting, how everything sort of is about who we are in our heart, and then to be able to use those gifts and to be able to express from that, because I definitely have a very, let's say, motherly nature, and I love sharing in that way, that's sort of the comfort of home, I discover, isn't about just a house. It's about that beauty we find when we're connected to the divine, and it's in our heart. I mean, just like the saying is, home is where the heart is. And it's truly true. And home is very important to me, so I emphasize that in a lot of my stuff that I do and in my writing. But so that's part of it too. Yeah, I do a lot of things. That's very true. But I never think that I do,
Of course. You're only doing one thing at a time to think.
I'm not a multitasker, that's for sure. I'll tell you that, boy.
One thing I do want to ask you before I have Colton ask you a question too. As I listen to you, I know you a little bit more than the rest of the crew here, but I listen to you and I think about American tradition. The white picket fence pops in my mind. But on that note, can you tell us what your American dream is? I mean, you seem to be...
Oh, gosh, it's really interesting because I do have this very sweet, conventional... I don't know what you'd call it, a sense of myself. And yet, I'm so not conventional. I really, there's a bit of a rebel in me because I just don't want to buy into dogma or the government telling us who we are, what we're supposed to do. I believe in independence. I believe in freedom. I believe in self-reliance. I believe in a mind of your own. And so that, it's like the freedom to think for yourself and not get pulled into what I see, it's even gotten worse, but this sort of atmosphere of fear that's sort of permeating everything now, and in the whole world. But it used to be for me, and because I am older, and I did grow up in the 50s, and I did have that little that dream, and everybody was sort of living what they considered the American dream at the time. But now I realize that that's a beautiful metaphor, but it isn't the true spirit. The true spirit is one of a real sort of powerful individual creative nature, where we're bringing to the world, to the whole world, all I can say is, freedom. Freedom to me, the true sense of real freedom, to be yourself, to be who you are, and to allow everybody else to be who they are. And I see human government. Let me put it that way. I see human government as being sort of the out-picturing of this need for people needing to feel secure or safe, and so they're trying to find it in human government, and it isn't there, and it's always going to be corrupt when people get in control and people get power, and they get power over other people, so all that sort of thing. But my American dream is the original idea of a beautiful state of being where everybody is contributing to each other, and in doing that, we create a beautiful country, that is full of spirit. But it's got to have God in the equation. And I don't mean a God of some particular religion, but truly that spirit of knowing who you are and knowing that we are divine beings, and we really are, and to understand that and live in the world and watch it unfold and know that it's true, that we truly are divine beings. And that's an inner guidance that gives us a way to live rightly and live from our own individual rightness, and yet it seems to always fall into such a grace-filled place that we don't hurt or trample others, or it's a true giving.